Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel, the segment on this channel where I can unleash all of my inner rage and sadness and anger and sorrow, all of the negative emotions that come with being a human being. And I'm aware that this is not only the second What's the Damage in a row, but also the second concept vlog in a row. A concept vlog is when I come here and talk to you guys and, you know, with very little if any editing, so it's just like the intro, me in the background music, and then the outro. The reason is that I'm currently in transition on my channel, right? I am going from baseball content straight into Star Wars content, right? And it's that juxtaposition there is a little tough to do, so I have to make a few simple vlogs, you know, very quick and easy to record and edit and upload and do thumbnails and stuff, so I can get into the very harder stuff, you know, with Star Wars and whatnot. So that's why I'm doing these two concept vlogs in a row. And today I'm going to be essentially wrapping up my sports related content by doing one more video discussing very crazy and out of pocket and insane and psychotic sports supporters. You guys should know at this point that I am a sports nut. I love sports, like the many kinds of sports videos that I do every year on YouTube should make that obvious for you guys. And I not only enjoy them, but I watch them. I do follow a few different sports within which I support a different team in each one. And every team that I support has rivals, right? And when I was younger, I used to really despise my rivals in soccer here. You know, I support Fluminense, which is a team from Rio de Janeiro, and their biggest rivals are Flamengo. So it's like I kind of grew up here in Brazil, like hating Flamengo and all of the supporters, the team, the history, because we're kind of, ever since you're a kid or a teenager, whenever you start following a sport for the first time, you're sort of mentally conditioned to hate anything that is the opposite of your sports team. But as the years have gone on, I have started to understand that hatred less and less. It doesn't really make sense for you to hate something that at the same time you love. So for example, if basketball is your favorite sport and you love everything related to it, how can you hate something related to it? Like, for example, I support the Los Angeles Lakers, and our biggest rivals are the Boston Celtics. There are very diehard Lakers fans who despise everything having to do with the Celtics, even the color green because of Boston, or the actual city and stuff of Boston, or players from Boston. It's like, dude, you don't have to hate each other just because you support different teams. I understand that the rivalry is a lot more susceptible to emotions, right? You know, there are people who just love their sports team so much that they feel the need to outright hate their rivals. I understand that, but why? Like, why does it have to be so extreme? You know, like in football, the NFL, I support the Miami Dolphins. It doesn't mean that I despise the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Or in hockey, the Florida Panthers, my team. I don't hate the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't. Like, whenever your team wins, it feels good. And when you play against your rivals and win, it feels even better. And when you lose, it sucks, you know? But that's just life. That's sports, right? I'm not going to be actively watching my rivals' games and hoping that they lose, right? No, I hope that the arena explodes and all the players die and this and that, and then I hope they nuke the whole city. Like, chill, man. That's not the point of sports at all. That's not why we watch them. We're supposed to watch them to have fun and be entertained, you know, and get that shot of dopamine when our team scores a goal or gets a point or a touchdown or whatever, or a home run, whatever sport you watch, right? That's why we consume them. It's not supposed to make us feel hatred. I get that in the heat of the moment we might let tensions flare and whatnot, but if you allow that to transform itself into hatred, that's just unhealthy. And what's even unhealthier is allowing that hatred to turn into physical violence. There is such a thing in sports called hooliganism, which basically defines disruptive and unlawful behavior at sporting events involving crowds and stuff. So rioting, bullying, vandalism, and physical violence, right? So when people are literally fighting each other at stadiums because of what's going on during the sporting event. This term actually originated back in the UK, like in the late 60s to early 70s, when there were a lot of, and I do mean a lot of brawls right in the stadiums, and when they were watching soccer matches, there was a lot of vandalism and there were riots depending on the results of the teams. They started to crack down on this a lot in the 80s and 90s, right? But it still gets really intense over there. Europe has a lot of really complicated issues with hooliganism still to this day, but it was crazy how it was back in those days, you know, the early days of English soccer. But like, what's weird is how it comes about. about, because this is you taking your hatred, your disdain for a rival team and letting it consume you so much that you go into a blind rage and start attacking everything like a freaking gorilla. You know, you turn into a lawless ape, and it's just disgusting. And here in Brazil, it does happen a lot, especially in soccer. There are two very popular sports teams here in the entire country, which is Flamengo, one of the biggest teams in Rio de Janeiro, and Corinthians, one of the biggest teams here in São Paulo. And their supporters have a very bad rep. They have a really bad reputation. You know, they are notorious for starting brawls and fires and rioting and vandalizing the stadium, and sometimes even shooting each other or other people. And it's crazy because it's almost like cannibalistic in nature, because sometimes they even fight amongst themselves. You know, I mean, it's one thing for you to go after, you know, the rival supporters and want to pick a fight with them, but fighting amongst yourselves, man, you support the same team, you dumbasses. You're there watching your team play, whether they're winning or losing. Why would you fight each other? Where is the logic in that? It doesn't make any sense. And it's great. It's funny because it seems to happen so often that we kind of expect it at this point, right? Like, I would never go to a stadium to see anything involving Flamengo or Corinthians because of this. And excuse me, bless me. But anyway, so it's like I went to a soccer match with my dad last year. You know, we saw Fluminense, our team, play against São Paulo. It was an away game for us, so you know, we went to Morumbi Stadium where São Paulo plays. We lost that game 1-0, but still, like because we were the away supporters, like freaking 90% of the stadium were São Paulo supporters, you know? So it was crazy, and we were bickering, we were going at each other. I was cursing them out, they were cursing us out, you know? But at the end, we just went home because that's life, you know? In the heat of the moment there, you get angry, temperatures rise, and you start screaming and cussing and everything. It's all good, but you can't let that, you know, transform into physical violence. You can't just go ahead and assault somebody because they support a rival team that happens to be winning or losing, man. I mean, there was, in this stadium, in this game, there was a guy in front of us who was provoking the other supporters constantly, but because we lost at the end, he just turned his back and wouldn't look at them. It was actually kind of funny. I hope he didn't get his ass kicked when he left, because that guy was annoying as hell, dude. But still, that's how it is. And whenever there are brawls in stadiums, it completely just messes the game up, right? It's especially in soccer stadiums, man, where it's very, very easy for you to get hurt if you fall from a great height or something, you know? It's freaking crazy. I know I gotta stop saying, you know, in my videos. You guys have been calling me out on it, but it's hard. It's hard because it just happens naturally. I'm trying to reduce it, but I don't freaking know. You know what's kind of interesting and funny? Like, despite the United States having such a wide market for sports and being home to some of the most popular and lucrative sports leagues in the world, there's actually very little hooliganism in America. But it's because, for one thing, they have stricter penalties, right, for vandalism and physical violence. The club markets have their own territory for the fans. There's a lot stricter security during games and whatnot. You know, things work over there. So it's like, it's really rare. Sometimes you will see drunken fights here and there, but it's normally outside of the game. It's like, it's very rare to see, for example, a Malice at the Palace back in 2004, right? That was a really crazy basketball game. And it's like, it's weird, man, because you would think there would be more fights and brawls and assaults there because of this, but they really control it. It's not the same as in Europe and here in Latin America, where things get really complicated. South America, dude, the countries here, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, like Uruguay, Venezuela, everybody takes soccer very, very seriously. That's why there are so many brawls all over the place. It's freaking insane, man. But in America, even the drunken fights here and there, they very rarely escalate to large-scale brawls that we see in other countries, which is good, of course. You know, the less violence we see outside of the field, even better. Like, let the players fight on the field or on the ice, like in hockey. You know, there's a lot of fighting in hockey. I did a video about that recently if you want to go check it out, why there is so much fighting, this and that. But it's like, it doesn't really make sense when the fighting escalates to outside of the arena or the field or the stadium or the ice and the supporters start fighting. Remember, guys, you're there to watch your team play. You know, you're entertaining yourself. Not everybody is as fortunate as you to be able to go to a sports event with a tad bit of frequency and watch it, right? So don't take what you have for granted, because there are people who are sometimes banned for life from sporting arenas because of this. So just be careful. Like, if you don't like your rivals, that's fine, but don't like hate on them to the point where you're going to want to physically assault other people just because they support them. Because that's actually really sick. Makes you look psychotic, honestly. Like, you have to be a psychopath if you think that you have the right to go and physically beat on somebody just because they happen to support a rival team of yours. It gets crazy here in Brazil especially, where people are really obsessed with their teams. Like, I've seen people kill others because of this, right? It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how this just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish we had a better taboo of sports here, you know, like they have in America, right? The stronger taboo on politics and class and race and religion, you know, into the sporting culture. Maybe we could not take it so seriously, but still, that's just how it is, I guess. Every country has its own way of interpreting this. The supporters are one way or this way or that way, and I can't generalize. Not all the supporters of popular teams are like this, but still, man, it's insane. But I'm actually curious about what you guys think about all this, you know? Like, if you really love your sports teams, if you despise your rivals, and if you feel the need to ever be a hooligan, I really hope not, but you never know. Like, vandalizing a sporting arena, a stadium or whatever, the ice, that's actually really dumb because your team is the one who's going to have to pay for that, you know? You're vandalizing your team's grounds, and they're the ones who are going to have to fix it, you know? With your money, by the way. You're the one who's paying for the tickets and, you know, the merchandise, the jerseys. They're going to use your money to pay for the bull crap that you're doing anyway. But you're still giving your team more work, and I don't think that's what you want for them, right? If you want them to be successful, stop being a damn nuisance. That's basically how it is. What the hell is this, man? There's a really loud truck outside, but I'm about to finish anyway. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this, if you agree, disagree, you know, what are your takes on this, hooliganism in general, and like public nuisances in sports. Stay tuned to the community tab because I'll definitely run a poll or two talking about this to get your opinions a little bit more directly. And if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload, and it's all good. God, what is this, man? Are they cementing the street? God, this is Chazzy signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro script!